What's up, everybody? Weatherman here, and we're back with another installment in our journey to becoming a software developer, just our coding vlogs. So, update. Looks like the past couple days I have been a little under the weather, not feeling so hot. My voice probably sounds like shit still. But we're going to talk about the pre-work for General Assembly's course to get in that you have to pass in order to officially enroll as a student. And not what I expected. I will say that. First, I decided to go through the HTML and CSS modules just because I felt most comfortable with them after having practiced a little bit before my interviews. And I was right. Those went through easy peasy. I was done with both of them in about an hour. They were advertised as a total of around 8 hours together, I think. It was real cut and dry, real basic. I think Dash went in more in depth than these modules did. But the moment I hit JavaScript, boy, JavaScript is another monster. If you've never done anything like this before, this is where I tell you that all of the things you've seen on the internet about JavaScript are true. It can feel very overwhelming at first. It still does feel very overwhelming. I'm only a couple days in. Don't let me fool you. Um, it was very confusing to see, a closing parenthesis and then a closing bracket and then a closing curly bracket and then a semicolon all in a row. It seemed like they were being used interchangeably at random, and it made no sense to me. It's starting to. I'm starting to understand some of the functions and some of the keywords and how things work. Starting to. Um, but this is going to be a long and bumpy road. So JavaScript is hard. And once I struggle bust my way through the JavaScript and managed to create a working rock paper scissors game that they assign to you, with quite a bit of help from their sample solutions and the internet, um, everything was done there. I went into the algorithms module, and this one took me just as long as JavaScript did, and I feel even more lost. They're walking you through how search algorithms work, how sorting algorithms work, how to iterate through arrays, recursion. Um, that's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm just gonna have to struggle bust my way through it. The assessment is, it does say in the instructions, you can Google just like you would be able to in a real workforce environment, on the test, but it is timed. You have about 45 minutes for 30 multiple choice questions, and I'm just waiting for the assessment to be mostly focused on algorithms and JavaScript, and I'm going to be screwed. I mean, we'll get through it, but it is going to be what it is. There was also a module on uh, developer tools. We're looking at like the command line, Git, GitHub, um, and that was okay. I've found that the the course for or the modules for HTML and CSS were structured rather well. There were knowledge checks every few slides where they would have you, code out what you thought the response was, and they would tell you whether you were right or wrong, give you hints to the answer, and then give you the answer. And they did the same thing in the JavaScript one, which was nice. But the moment I hit the developer tools, it was immediately less structured. And my big problem was I told them going in that I'm not the type of person who does self-paced very well. It's nice to be in a classroom, have an instructor going over this stuff with you. And they were like, oh yeah, no problem, but you've got to get through this self-paced thing where you have to learn stuff that makes no sense to you completely on your own, which is exactly what I don't want to be doing. So for me, it's just kind of a challenge. Um, they've said I've been watching all sorts of YouTube content in terms of how to make the most out of your coding boot camps and whatnot, and a lot of them have said that coding boot camp is one of the most challenging things you can do just because of how fast paced it is and how much stuff is going to come through. And I gotta say, I haven't been challenged in a while. I'm 28 years old. I've been out of school for 10 years. I did a little bit of college, and I never really felt challenged. Everything kind of came easy in school. I've been out of the school base for about 10 years now, just working and coming back to something that is actually, racking my brain. It's a good and a bad feeling. I feel stuck. a little bit on some of this. I have confidence that I'll pull through and that I'll pick it up, but it's tough. It really is tough. But I'm just having faith that by the end of this, I will have a job that pays decent money. I'll enjoy what I'm doing. I'll be able to finally use my brain for something more than just working on a machine at a factory. So there's that. So far, let me take a look here. So we've gotten through the introduction to computer science, algorithms, intro to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and dev tools. We still have data structures and design patterns left. Data structures is going to include linked lists, stacked queues, hash tables, sets, binary trees and tries, and balancing binary trees. So this is about to be an interesting segment. And by that I mean the stuff of nightmares. It's what I've seen in all of these coding interview type videos. And then design patterns is going to talk a little bit about frameworks, I think. After that, I've still got to do a module for the income sharing agreement. They make you take a course just to prove that you're going to be able to honor your agreement. It's just they want you to make sure that you're 100% aware of what you're getting yourself into, and you got to pass a little test on that. So outside of that, that has been my past few days. I am hoping that I can get this assessment taken. Today is the 3rd. I have until the 8th. I'm hoping to get this test taken by Friday at the latest, but ideally I'd like to have it done tomorrow evening or Thursday evening, and then delve into some YouTube videos and some free online classes about JavaScript to give myself a bit of a leg up. So if there's anything you guys are curious about this process or anything you want to know, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. It'll help me get noticed by the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button. Do what you do. If you don't like it, whatever, that's fine. And you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.